world is just a better place. I have all kinds of feedback in my ear right now. I have no idea. I am hearing all kinds of things in my ear right now. That's absolutely crazy. But hey, at least you don't have to see the concerned look on my face. You get to see a white flag with a red W on it waving. We won. We're going to talk about it.
West Cork Beard Company make beard oil and beard balm for a strong, healthy, great-looking beard. Handmade from all natural ingredients in Clonakilty, West Cork. Check out their YouTube channel for beard care tips and advice, or catch them online at westcorkbeardcompany.ie.
For the love of God, I hope we're okay. Nothing. Thank God. All I hear is the sound of my lovely voice right now. Let's go to Stan's lovely voice. How are you?
All right. I've got a few technical problems, so I may have to switch devices if it doesn't calm down. But other than that, busy with work and good to be here on the back of a win. Always good to be here on the back of a win. Ryan, how are you, sir?
Yeah, good. I can't really say anything different, you know. The Aubameyang hat trick, scoring 4 goals in a game. It's good. The future is bright.
Yeah. Future looks very bright.
We're gonna win the league.
Yeah. Settle down. Don't say that till after Sunday. Maybe we could pull a little rabbit out of the hat on Sunday, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So, yeah, fellas, let's dive right into it, shall we? 4-2, pretty comprehensive win, I would say. It's nice to see the ball go in the back of the net 4 times. That's for sure. So, Ryan, I'm going to start with you. Just give me your overall take on what you saw on Sunday.
I mean, it was a nice free-flowing game. I think the cylinders were firing, and it's good to see, a change, seeing Odegaard and seeing ESR, which kind of alludes to, I feel weird doing this now because Tanner has no idea. But my beer of the week is Hull's Fruit Kissed. Now, they say, you're sun kissed, you're bright, you're loving it. The sun's shining, everything's bright, everything's happy. That's how I feel. Everything's bright, everything's happy. We're gonna beat Benfica 10-0. Then I'm gonna bother to show up the second leg. We're gonna go, whatever. I mean, it is how it is. And I talk, about people being too reactionary. I think, when we have our preferred 11, when the tactics are going, everything's good. I think we're up there. I don't think we're winning the league up there, but I think we could hang with the boys, so to speak. So hopefully we could keep that going. Yeah, fruit kissed. E with ED. Fruit kissed. Not a cool logo. Sorry, I don't know where the brewery's from. Somewhere in Connecticut, I would assume. The Hull Brewing Company. But yeah, that's why it's Hulls. But yeah, good win, and good to see that we can play Odegaard, play ESR, and both don't really look at us. Sync. Both don't. Well, I guess both Odegaard's playing the position. It's good to see that ESR can adapt and kind of go with the flow.
Yeah, we're going to get into this in a little bit because I want to touch on something that you have said before in the past that I really liked, that I saw. Stan, your customary shout out to the 12th man, if you would, please, and thank you, and then dive right in to your overall thoughts.
Yeah, we've got quite a few in tonight. Raising from the Arsenal fan circle, Lawrence Emmanuel, good evening to you. Hanty Yummy, Gary's in there moderating. Don't waste a tweet. Glenn's in here from New York. Hi, Glenn. Thanks for joining us tonight. Football with Brownie, Dave, Fab, and I think that's everybody for now. Mike Kurtz is in there as well. Man in the Mirror's in there. And yeah, I think that might be everybody.
Yeah, at least everybody that's getting involved in the chat anyway. So
I was really pleased with the lineup. Was the first thing that caught my eye was the lineup, and as Ryan said as well, that we got a start with Odegaard, and we managed to keep ESR in the starting lineup. But for me, I was really pleased that Aubameyang was coming back in, but he was being played through the middle, and that somebody else wasn't going to be sacrificed on the left-hand side. So I was really pleased about that. And I think when you look at some of the people that are missing, two in particular with Partey and Tierney, it's I think, with that kind of a lineup that we had and we put those two back in the team, I think it bodes really well for now. There's not a lot, we haven't got a lot in depth, but, that first 11 all firing should be able to get some results and help us out to get higher up between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, real quick before we go any further here, I do want to shout out Tony Tau Profit 420. So for the foreseeable future, I guess I'll put it that way. For the foreseeable future, we would much prefer any super chats that you might want to give us. There is a link in the description for Tony's GoFundMe to help fund. He needs a prosthetic leg. So we have the GoFundMe link in the description below. If you would like to send a super chat to us, we greatly appreciate the sentiment, but we would much rather you click that GoFundMe and donate to Tony. If you do that, please just in the comment, just leave a note that you donated, and I will do my best to get your comment in. So, Tony, if you're watching, shout out, man. We're going to get this done for sure. I'm going to shout out Ray, as he has so eloquently said on Twitter. We are one big Gooner family. We may not always agree on everything, but at the end of the day, we do take care of our own, I think, for the most part. So, Tony, if you're out there, shout yourself out in the chat. And once again, just check the description below for a link to the GoFundMe. Should be in there, hopefully. And if you guys want to donate anything, we would all greatly appreciate that. So yeah, lineup. Stan, were you surprised though at anything? Because I actually was a little surprised to see Odegaard and ESR in there together so early into Odegaard's loan stint. I thought we might see it down the road. I was a little surprised. Were you surprised by anything?
How did you think he might have gone with that then? You thought that either one of them would be on the bench and perhaps Pepe, Lacazette through the middle, Aubameyang out on the left. There are a lot of options
around that sort of three behind the central striker. So
I think it'd be difficult at the moment for him to if he was to just drop ESR and start Odegaard. Do you know what I mean? So he kind of had to try. If he wanted to play Odegaard, he had to find a way to fit them both in. And I wasn't really when I say I wasn't surprised, I didn't think I was going to see it this quick, like what you just said. So I was really happy to see that. But again, we seem now to be chock-a-block with players who want to play on that right-hand side. We've got Reece Nelson, we've got Pepe, we've got Willian, we've got Saka.
Do we have Willian though? Does that count?
And also now ESR can play in there, so we're quite well stocked for that position.
Yeah, I'm going to give Ryan credit here. I really hate doing this, my God, but
you do it so much. I like it.
But I do it. And every time I do it, I say how much I hate to do it. But no, something you said a little while back, chaos. And I don't exactly remember how you said it. I'd have to go back through the archive and get the exact quote. But you said something about chaos. And, the one thing that I noticed about that three behind Aubameyang with ESR, Odegaard, and Saka they all are interchangeable in those three positions, are they not? And does that not then lead to could we call that triumvirate if they happen to be a staple going forward? the agents of chaos? Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, and I'm sure maybe we'll talk about it later and now, but credit where credit's due. You got to give Arteta credit, and people talk about how he was forced into playing ESR, and our good run of form was because of a forced change. He kind of just stumbled in and walked into a gold mine. It's like this is tactical, and he knew what he was doing. This isn't something he just stumbled upon. So you got to give him credit, and it was interesting too because going back to what Stan said, I thought to me like, oh, ESR is 100% sitting. You have to play Odegaard here. You sit ESR. You're resting for Benfica. That's Then he played both of them, and I was like, that's risky, but I like it because, like you said, and like kind of what I was saying, almost like a pinwheel of death, where just everyone's moving, everyone's doing what they got to do, and the one thing that I just love, and it doesn't get talked about enough, is ESR's football IQ, but just the way watching him without the ball is, to me, more amazing than watching him with the ball. Because if you watch him, he runs almost away from the ball, and he brings defenders with him. He just runs into pockets of space. Like the first goal that Aubameyang scored, ESR brought a defender with him. ESR is running into pockets, bringing people with him, opening Aubameyang up. And with Aubameyang, his big, I guess, flaw is he's a low touch player, and the way Arteta's system, or I guess tactics work, is you need all players firing all cylinders. You need all players kind of touching the ball and moving around, and that's one thing I will say Aubameyang did. Aubameyang was on the ball a lot. He was making runs. I didn't really like a lot of his one touch, little mini one touch passes and running, but again, it's more than what we've seen from him, and that's always good. And I think Odegaard and ESR both suit him very well because they allow him to run into space, which is what he does, and that's why he's so good. And ESR and Odegaard are absolutely perfect for that. So I definitely want to see us going forward. But I also think too, it's horses for courses. I think there's going to be games where Pepe's probably required. There's going to be games where no, definitely not Willian. There's gonna be games where Saka, it's again, and this is why I love that we have, with Pepe Games Orange, why I love having all these players. We have so many guys that can put in a shift and just be that pinwheel of death. Granted, you kind of need ESR and Odegaard a little bit, but hopefully we can make some signings in the summer, and that'll be that. But again, I think ESR's movement off the ball is just, and I mean, obviously everyone talks about his touch and runs, his pass and runs, and all that. But you got to watch him off the ball. He's just so. Oh smart.
Yeah. He like you hit the nail on the head. His movement is drawing defenders towards him and opening up space for Aubameyang. Stan, on the topic of Aubameyang. Is less more with him in terms of touch? Is it the kind of thing where we don't necessarily want to see him dribbling the ball into the 18-yard box? We almost want him to take no more than 3, get the ball, no more than 2 or 3 touches and shoot. I really feel like that's kind of where we're at with him at this point.
Yeah, when he's coming off the left, he has a little bit more work to do, and he has to have more touches of the ball. And if he's not in a shooting position, that's why it was heartbreaking at times to see Aubameyang crossing into the penalty area to Lacazette. And you're thinking to yourself, surely this should be the other way around. It should be someone crossing in to Lacazette getting on the end of it, right? Yeah. So I'm happier to see him play through the middle. And I think one of the commentators, there was a stat saying something like, of the 5 games that he's already played through the middle, we've never scored more than 1 goal or something like that.
We've won. I don't think we'd won any games. I think we drew 1 and lost 4.
Yeah,
or something crazy. Yeah.
Well, I was pleased to see that was broken, but and also as well that Aubameyang got his first hat trick. His first hat trick for the club.
Yeah,
and it was good to see. It was quite a variety of goals. Even put one in with his head.
Did he have a hat trick in the Europa League last year for us?
I think it's his first for Arsenal.
Hit a brace. I think
okay? Maybe that's what it was. I could have sworn I saw somebody somewhere said he had one in Europa League. This was his first in the Premier League, but I heard
maybe.
I heard both. At any rate, it's 10th of his career, first for Arsenal. He also scored his 200th professional goal, and I think he got up to. So I think he's at 202 for his career. I think he's at 62 for the club goal wise, because I think the first was his 60th for the club. So, but does he? Well, I'll stick with Aubameyang, but I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit. But I want to stick with Aubameyang for a minute. Stan, does he start against Benfica for you, or do you switch things up a little bit?
Um,
let me ask you two questions. If you're the coach, do you start him, and what do you think Arteta will do?
What's the game? And the game after that is who we got in the league?
Manchester City on Sunday.
On Sunday. So it all depends really where Mikel's putting his eggs.
Right.
Did you know what I mean? Whichever one of those two games he feels is the most important, he'll have to start Aubameyang, right? You know, unless he starts him in one and takes him off, you know, after sort of like maybe 55 minutes or something like that. It depends, because there's a part of it where you feel, well, he's just found his groove again after being out of his groove for some time. Do you want to sort of capitalize on that and give him another game to keep him in that groove? But if Mikel's got his eggs in the Premier League and wants to ensure that he's going to get something out of that game, he may have to save him. Did you see what I mean? It all depends, you know, and that's a good question. At this moment in time where we are as a club, what should so I was just looking at Ray putting 7 eggs, 5 eggs. A lot of eggs. Talking about a lot of eggs.
But he's got the dozen, so he split the dozen. So I get it. I get it. Ray, well done.
If you're going to make an omelette, you got to smash a few eggs, right?
You can't make an omelette without breaking some eggs.
A question to everyone in the chat box as well, and to you guys, where we are right now as a football club, what basket should we be putting these eggs in? Should it be the Europa League? Should that be our main focus because it could be our easiest way back into Europe? Or should we be trying to get as many points as we can in the Premier League?
Ryan, you want to take that? And then
Europa, obviously. And it's funny too, because we've talked this, I think, multiple times in this podcast. Like, is he going to go hard here or hard? He puts in the best 11 like every game. ESR hasn't had a game off. You know, and to be fair, to Glenn's point, I didn't agree. I'm not saying we need to sit players, but if you bring in Odegaard, you see ESR, you bring on Pepe and Saka, it's not terrible. Like, you know, I just worry about ESR because I just feel like he's going to break down sooner or later. Knock on wood. But I don't recommend. I don't want to do it. I love ESR. He's probably my favorite player right now. So I mean, I want to see him play week in and week out. But I agree. I completely agree with Graham. We should be playing the best 11 every week. And someone, I think, in the chat also said, oh, Matty Ryan's going to start right against Benfica. No, Leno's going to play. And when we were in the group stage, I think Leno played every game but one, right? So it's it's.
So are you of the mind then that as every game comes up, we look at the players that we have, we try and field our best team, we get over that hurdle, then we look at the next game, we look at what we have, whoever's fit can play, you sort of like do it game by game. I'm kind of down with that as well.
I think we have to, just based on where we are in the standings in the Premier League and based on it's all or nothing in the Europa. You know, you think, I mean, unless we magically can make top 4, then maybe winning. But to me, I think, I guess, salvaging the season, because we were since we were flirting with relegation, you got to think, you know, the one thing that'll save us is a Europa League title, you know, a Europa League trophy for the cabinet. I mean, because obviously we're not mathematically at a 4th and everyone's dropping points left and right. But to me, I think it's just you got to go Europa. But obviously, again, agreeing with you, agreeing with Glenn, you got to go balls to the walls every game. I'm just worried with these congested fixtures, you know, Tierney, Partey, they've all been casualties to that. I don't want to see ESR on that list. Odegaard, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe. I just and it's crazy because we're starting to get some depth going. You know, Pepe didn't play against Leeds, and I was like, oh, Pepe's in form. You got to play him. Yeah, he didn't play, and we didn't even need him. So I do think Pepe will probably play against Benfica, but again, who comes out? What do you do? How do you shift this puzzle? I mean, who knows? We won't find out until what is it? like an hour. I think they released Europa League lamps an hour and a half before the game started.
We'll
find out.
Something else to keep in mind here while we're on this point is we get 5 subs. We get 5 subs in Europa League. So, if I may answer the question and throw my 2 cents.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, because sometimes Mikel seems to have trouble handling 3 subs. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I agree with Glenn. I agree with Ryan. I think I really like the way that Ray put it: 7 eggs in one, 5 eggs in the other, and figure out. It's tough because it's a good problem to have. It's a bad problem to have, isn't it? It's a blessing and a curse, because right now it kind of seems like that front 4, whoever they are, taking Willian out of the equation, they're playing well. Who do you draw? It's a tough decision. Yeah. Laka isn't playing so bad that he deserves to be dropped, and I don't think he was dropped. I think this was rest. I don't think that Pepe's not playing bad at all. He was in form before Sunday's match. I think he was rested. I'm going to drop back a little bit to the back 4. I think Rob Holding was rested. I don't think any of these players were dropped. I think they're being rested. So, which is not a bad thing. I don't really think there's a wrong way to go with this lineup on Thursday, to be honest with you. Because with the 5 subs, my hope, if I'm the coach, would be I choose my lineup, and if we can put the affair to bed in the first half, maybe I make 2 subs at halftime and say, guys, I'm pulling you off. I want you to be fresh for Sunday, and whoever that might be. So, but I don't think with the way that
if we happen to go 6-0 ahead on the 48th minute, we can then afford to bring on Willian and the rest.
Yeah, right. We're 8 points off of 4th right now. That's Chelsea. There are a couple of teams in front of us that have games in hand. I believe the Scum have 1 game in hand. I think Everton and Villa have 2 games in hand. But none of those teams can leapfrog Chelsea. I think the best Everton and Villa can do is level Chelsea on points, even with those games played. So we're 8 points out of 4th, and I know that's it's a tough ask. It's not impossible, especially when you look at the fixtures for this weekend coming up. So 4th place is it's dwindling, but I think it's still there to be had, and I think it would be a little premature to say nope. You know what? We're gonna pack it in the league. It's not going to happen for us there. So we're just going to focus completely on Europa League. I think he's got to focus on both and go for it. So,
and to Ray's point, when he says 7 and 5, I think what I want to do, and Glenn and us, and I think this is what Arteta does. He puts all 12 eggs in the Europa League basket. When that game's over, he takes all 12 eggs out, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna put him in this basket."
Yep.
And it's just a constant move with a dozen eggs. So,
well, isn't that what you're saying though? Isn't that what you're saying? Where you take it game by game and say
Ray said 7 and 5. I'm saying dozen.
Yeah,
fuck you, dozen here too.
Well, it's like
I don't know. I don't go grocery
shopping.
Ray might buy 24 eggs. I don't know. I don't know his shopping habits.
I'm knee deep in eggs over here. What's going on?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, glad I wore my shit kick.
I'm a fan. I'm an omelet guy. It's fine. Ray, hook it up.
No, but that's kind of what you said though when you said it's game by game, because I think Stan, you were echoing what Ryan said. It's like game by game. He just says, okay, what's going to be my best 11 against. Because the best 11 against Benfica is not going to be the best 11 against City necessarily, depending on how he wants to, how Arteta wants to play the game tactically.
I like what Dave says here. He says if Lacazette comes in, Aubameyang needs to be on the bench. Aubameyang on the wing would unbalance the team. And
100%.
I've been trying to agree with him. Let's try and move away from that now.
Yeah,
let's be bold enough now to say, right, we've got two strikers, right? One costs 60 million, one costs 50 million, whatever it is, right? Two strikers. I can only play one or the other. The other one will be on the bench and come in as an emergency should I need.
All right. So
don't try and please everybody and say, well, I can shoehorn it in, because it's quite clear now that the way that midfield operated, that's the kind of way that we should be going forward now. We obviously Saka can't lose his place. You know, and I just want to say as well that I think we've got a real gem on our hands with this guy.
Oh, there's no doubt.
He seems to be able to do it all. You know, he can take his man on. He's got a good passing range on him. He's got excellent shooting range on him. He can be used in a variety of positions. You know, I'm really extremely excited for Bukayo Saka. I'm crazy, but I think if we score more goals than Benfica, we can win this game. Yeah, I don't really know much about where Benfica are at, to be honest with you. You know, I've not looked at Benfica in a while, so I have no idea like where they're at in way as competition. But
I just want to thank you, Mike, Captain Obvious. Brilliant analysis on your part, by the way. So can't wait I
thought so too.
Can't wait to get you on the show with these gems. I'm kidding, man. I love you. Thanks for that. That's great. That's my kind of humor right there. So, all right, gun to your head. Who's your striker on Thursday? Who's your striker? Not what you think Arteta's going to do. You're the coach. You make the call. Ryan, go.
The fact that Otamendi is one of the starting center backs, I think you play Lacazette here because I think Lacazette is going to outwork Otamendi. It's tough because you don't want to bench people. We shouldn't bench people. We just talked about it, but then I'm like, I don't know. I think Lacazette is best suited for this game, but I wouldn't be upset if we played a binding either. But I'm gonna say Lacazette because I think Otamendi is gonna just foul Lacazette left and right in the box. We're gonna get like 7 penalties. So,
Stan.
Also, Lawrence Emmanuel says that Aubameyang scored a hat-trick for us against Valencia in Europa 2 years ago.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. Yeah.
There you go. Thanks for that. I'm off the I don't know. I mean, off the back of a hat-trick, he almost scored 4. We've been trying to get this guy back into the groove. I don't want to stop the rhythm. I want to encourage it. So I would probably be inclined to start with Aubameyang.
And it's funny too because when you look at the team, you look at the lineup, you kind of need to play Aubameyang for Odegaard and ESR to work because they're just again pinwheel of death. I don't think Lacazette benefits from it as much as Aubameyang does because Aubameyang wants to run the space. He drifts to the left and comes in. Yeah, it was his last goal, I think, or I think it was 2. Well, obviously not the penalty, but the 2 goals. He started from the left. He drifted in. So I think Odegaard needs to allow him to do that and allow him to play his best kind of football. Whereas Lacazette's going to just sit down in the trenches, do the nitty gritty, do the work. But I think that's the thing, with Arteta's old tactics of the number 9 comes back and kind of plays a pseudo 10 and kind of does work and does all that. And we were screaming, I could hear Rohan saying, "Get in the box, Lacazette! Get in!" He's screaming to get in the box, So to me, it's funny. I'm like flip flopping as I'm talking. I think with playing ESR and Odegaard, Aubameyang offers us more. He's the better play. But if you're playing someone like a Pepe and a Saka and ESR, you're not playing both ESR and Odegaard. I think you play Lacazette. I don't rate Benfica. Not saying we need to look past them and we're already in the next round. I just think if we just play our game, play what we're supposed to do, that's it.
Oh, now I have rhythm as a dancer stuck in my head. Thanks, Brownie.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it's a reference to. I mean, I know it's a song. Other than that, I have no idea what the reference is for. But
I was talking about rhythm.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I'm going Lacazette on this one. I'm going Lacazette, and if it's not going well, I can bring Auba on. But I'm going with Lacazette just for to a degree, kind of what Ryan said. Otamendi's a red card waiting to happen, almost like David Luiz. I think Laka can get in there, and you know what though? I think Auba could create some havoc in there and draw a few penalties.
Yeah, but he drifts in. Lacazette, I think will be like already.
I get what you're saying. He'll kind of already be there, whereas Aubameyang's going to make a move to get himself in there.
Listen, if anyone can get us a penalty, mate, it's young Saka.
Oh, absolutely. That's another one, boy.
And we didn't even really talk about him, honestly.
Well, we're getting there. We're only a half hour into the show.
He's all right. The thing I will say is, and I don't really care. I know we'll talk about it later. I'm talking about right now. Aubameyang scored a hat trick. Obviously, he got my man of the match. But I think Saka was the best player in the field. against Leeds. I think far and away, Saka was our best player.
It's hard to not give
Aubameyang got a hat trick. So
right. It's hard to not give a guy that scores a hat trick your man of the match, right?
Yeah, and Aubameyang did play a lot better than what he's been playing, and he just showed like he wanted to get involved. He wasn't just waiting for the ball. I think Odegaard needs to start offering him that. So it kind of changed things up for him. But I do give a lot of. I'm not saying Aubameyang played bad. He was great. But I think Saka was just
a lot of people in the chat are saying they're playing Aubameyang. So here's my question then. So are you in the chat now also saying, and I guess Stan, I'll throw this out to you because you said
paid all them people. I've paid them all. So
did you? Okay, all right, fair enough. Everybody in the chat that agreed with Stan, checks in the mail, and if you believe that, I got a bridge I'll sell you. So are we saying that are we running the wheels off of Aubameyang now at this point then, or because who would start then? So is Aubameyang going Thursday, Sunday for you?
I'd be like, look, you done well in that last game. You got yourself a hat trick. You're finding your groove again. Let's see how you do for 50 minutes, 55 minutes, something like that. Let's get out there, tuck a couple of goals away, and then we'll take you off. And I'll bring on Laka. Laka, you tell Laka the same thing. Listen, you're not out in the cold. I've got plans for you in the second half.
Yeah, I definitely listen. We have 5 subs. We talked about that. I do think Aubameyang for Lacazette is like almost. You might as well write it in pen. That's going to be a sub. It's just a matter of when, and it's just a matter of who's starting, who's coming. Like which one for who. So,
I've seen some comments from folks that are interested in our entire starting 11. I don't know that I want to go that far. That'll take a little while. I don't think I want to go the entire starting 11, but let's just go with the 3 behind now. So Ryan and I are Lacazette. Stan, you're Aubameyang. So Stan, give me your 3 behind Aubameyang.
I would have Pepe on the right. No, sorry. Pepe on the left. Saka on the right, and I would have one of Odegaard and ESR to start. I'm not sure which one, but one of those to start, one on the bench, because as you say, we've got 5 subs. Yeah. And even if Thomas Partey is fit, I'm not sure I'd want to risk him.
No,
maybe
he's not fit. I don't think he's fit.
I don't think he's fit either. But
Kieran Tierney.
Put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yeah, he's been pictures of him in training. Mm-hmm. So again, that might be something where if he's fit, I'd maybe use him as one of the subs. Not start with him, but give him some minutes. Right?
I'd give him a shirt. Yeah, I'd give him a shirt for sure.
And use it really as a prep one for the City game.
Yeah, I did see a thing today that he could be available Thursday. I would err on the side of caution there. I'd give him a shirt, but as I have kind of been saying for weeks now, that's in case of emergency, break the glass kind of thing for me with Kieran Tierney.
Cedric at right back maybe, or to cover for Kieran Tierney then obviously. But yeah, I'd like Pablo Mari maybe to get a run out as well.
Let's not forget Callum Chambers is healthy as well. He's got to get out there at some point too. Yeah. I'm not necessarily saying this is the time to go with that, but yeah,
there's no time to play him. I hate to say it. I like Callum Chambers. He's not going to start for us the rest of the season unless we beat Benfica in the first leg handedly, and there's like no chance of coming back. Which again, Barcelona kind of put a kibosh on that against playing PSG last year, 2 years ago. I don't think Chambers is going to see anything. But to the back, it's funny because when Stan was saying his, I was like, you got to play Yassar. So I go Pepe, Saka, Yassar. But now that I'm thinking about it, you got to wonder, because again, we talked about this, all eggs in all baskets. I get that. But I do agree with Stan, and I think Odegaard is that good. And I think he's a real player. I think he's going to be a real player. It comes down to how much does Arteta respect the opposition? I'm sure he respects the opposition, but how much homework is he doing? Could we get away with? Because to me, playing Odegaard, starting him without ESR, I think is a little premature. I don't say premature, but I kind of want to know how that works. Can
I ask you why you're talking about Odegaard? Because I did notice a number of some people on social media and in a couple of other chat boxes of other previous shows saying they felt Odegaard was poor. So I just wondered what you guys felt of what you said.
I mean, he didn't get an assist or a goal, so I guess that's not good. But I thought he was great. I thought his one-touch passing, his movement. There were a couple plays I noticed where almost him and ESR ran to the same spot, which you want to iron that out because you don't want that happening and it screwing us over. But they have similar minds, similar brains, so that's good. Because again, I think ESR is one of the smartest footballers in the Premier League. Period. So I thought he played good. For the Arse Bros, I gave him my +1. It was kind of a toss-up between him and ESR. I just gave it to Odegaard because he got his start, didn't really put a foot wrong. So yeah.
You can just see the quality of him and Stan. I saw the same thing. Like Odegaard was poor. It's like, what? Like, are you watching the same game? Like, what on earth did you see that you think he was poor? Like, yeah, like not average, not average.
That's funny because I didn't see any of that.
I didn't see any of it either. But like to use the word poor, like I would love to know what number they gave him if as a rating. That I mean, poor would indicate to me that he's less than a 5. I mean, I gave him a 7 or an 8 for crying out loud. I thought he was that good. I mean, I know he didn't contribute directly to a goal. He didn't have a goal, didn't have an assist, but my God, you could just see it in him. The more he settles in, he's going to be a stud. That kid's going to be an absolute stud.
I also think it now shows you the difference of. I can remember going back several months where a lot of people were going, well, why can't we play Danny Ceballos in a 10? Now, if you look at the way Danny Ceballos plays and you look at the way that Odegaard played that game, that's the reason why. Someone like Odegaard, that's his turf. Anywhere around that area is his turf. And again, you may even see games where ESR and Odegaard, their positions are swapped on the starting lineup. But there's going to be a lot of rotation anyway, right? There's a lot of rotation. Sometimes ESR was popping up on the left-hand side. Yeah.
Well, it's like Brian said, pinwheel of death.
His assist came in from the left-hand side for Aubameyang, right? That's where he crossed it in from. It was all towards the left side of the goal.
Yeah. Yep.
Not on the right side. So I was really, I liked what I saw. And I think that it's only a matter of time before we actually get end product from Martin Odegaard in the form of assists and goals. But the passing, the touch of the passing, and I mean, both teams were playing a pressing game. We were playing a pressing game. Leeds were playing a pressing game. Difference was that we were doing it much better. We were able to use the two centre backs. I felt had a very good game in the way that they helped open up everything from the back, which allowed us to have players doing the chaos thing and opening up channels. And again, Hector Bellerin again showed me why I still think there's a place for him in our squad. He gets a lot of hate, and I understand that there is a good argument that we can upgrade on him. But the way that he's being used inside that inside channel, when he scored when he scored that goal, I wasn't surprised because I've been thinking to myself, it's only a matter of time.
Wait, you thought Bellerin had a good game against Leeds?
He's been getting into a lot of good positions. Hector Bellerin.
Yeah.
I think he did. He works that inside channel really well.
Wow.
He arrives at the right moment, and he's another player that's causing the chaos. And I know a lot of people say, well, he's rubbish at defending, but when he gets that far forward, usually someone else is slotting in there anyway.
Somebody's got to drop back and cover for him.
Just to cover. Yeah. And I still think that with Hector Bellerin, that's a piece of surgery that can wait. That's not on the pending list to get done straight away. There's other things that we need to be doing first. And I think another season out of Hector, I think would be possible, especially when we have somebody like Cedric who can keep him on his toes a little bit. And I've always felt when Hector Bellerin knows that his position isn't cemented, he went for a period of how many seasons under Wenger? If he could walk, he knew that he was starting at right back. There was no one giving him any competition. Even if he had a bad game, he could go, well, I had a bad one this week, but I'll make up for it next week. Because he knew that he'd be getting picked next week. Now he's got a bit of competition. I think there's improvement from him. And I know a lot of people don't agree with me about Hector, but I really still think that he still has something to offer the current squad.
There are bigger issues at this club right now than trying to find a new right back. And I agree with you, Stan. Look, we could do far worse than Hector Bellerin at right back. First of all, let's get that out of the way. The goal that he scored, that's an attacking mindset. There's something there for him. That's a hell of a goal for him to score, because that was a bad angle shot that he scored that goal from. So I give him credit. The first goal, he really kind of hung David Luiz out to dry. He just got caught absolutely flat-footed. I can't remember who the player was that just went screaming by him, but he just got blown past. Might have it wasn't Rafinha. I can't remember who
Costa?
it was.
I don't even know.
I don't remember who it was, but he got abused on on their first goal. He got absolutely abused. So at the end of the first half, I think I had Bellerin as about an 8, and then on that goal, I dropped him to a 6. So
I thought he was so bad. Besides his goal, he scored. I did not think he had.
So here's the thing with Hector Bellerin. Here's the thing with Hector Bellerin. First of all, he came up as a winger. Number one. Number two, he's not your prototypical fullback where he doesn't do well in overlapping runs. That's not his strength.
Yeah.
So like I Lone Star Londoner. I'm not going to scroll all the way back up here, but I know what you said. That he can't defend and he can't cross the ball. Well, let me ask you a question. Is that the only thing that you expect out of a fullback? Is just that's your job, just cross the ball and defend all the time? Or can he fit a different profile? And if that's all you want, well, then yeah, okay, you're right. If that's all you want from your fullback. But if Hector Bellerin could contribute 4 or 5 goals in a season with that inner channel run like Stan's talking about, is that a bad thing? You know, as long as the caveat to this is there has to be somebody covering for him on the defensive end of things, because he does make those runs. And when he does, he looks good. He does look good making those runs. Unfortunately, his end product is not there. He does have a bit of a heavy last touch. It's not the greatest thing in the world. But he makes runs that do create problems for defenses.
Also, as well, we don't play what I call, and I'll just make this up now to try and describe it, what I call a mirrored game. So what's happening on the left-hand side isn't necessarily equal to what's happening on the right-hand side.
They don't have to be the same thing. You're exactly right, Stan. They do not have to be the same thing.
You go back and look at our history as well with wingers, and you look at Pires on one side, and you look at maybe Freddie on the other side, doing completely different things. Overmars on one side, and maybe Ray Parlour on the other side. And I think it's the same with our fullbacks. What you see Tierney doing, Tierney goes more on the outside. He's more on the byline and bringing the ball up in that respect. And then when he gets into that top third, he's got the ability to make a cross, or as we've seen, even cut in, and if he feels like it, put it in the back of the net. Whereas Hector Bellerin, he's more adapted to running on that inside channel.
Yep. And at the end of the day, does that not make you more difficult to defend? Because if your fullbacks are only given one job, now let's think Liverpool with Robertson and Alexander-Arnold. That's their game. That's what they do. But it also gives you nothing else to think about. Now, the difference there being, those are two probably just a level below world class, Robertson and Alexander-Arnold. They're great at what they do. We don't have that quite yet. So I'd be more inclined to, the more different ways I can attack you, the better, because you're constantly on your toes as a defender. You have no idea what's coming. That's why I like the idea of with Lacazette and Aubameyang, you switch those two in and out, and it's two completely different looks. You know what I mean? You switch out one for the other. Now all of a sudden you have to totally change up your defensive style as to how you're going to defend those two. That's if kind of. I'll circle back just real quick to a question I'd asked before.
I was laughing at Anub going, look, these guys going off on Bellerin. All right, it does. I suppose it does sound like a bit of a Bellerin loving, but I
mean, look, Lone Star Londoner has beaten this drum for weeks. Bellerin is so useless defensively. Holding looks stupid. Lone Star, I got to tell you, man, this is the most annoying thing in the world to me because you're the fan that just wants the best. You just expect Arsenal to go get the best players in the world. And when they don't, that's a problem for you. You get rid of all of our awful players, bring in all of the world's best players because it's just that simple. It's not FIFA. If that's what you want, go play a season of FIFA. Dude, this, I'm sorry. This gets me hot. It really does. It's like, we need another midfielder before we need another right back. It's as simple as that. When I say, do I like Hector Bellerin? Do I like him as our starting right back? I'm not sold on him. If the right offer came in this summer, I'd sell him. If we got 30 to 35 million, I'd sell him.
As I said, I'm not saying that we couldn't upgrade on him, but it's not a piece of surgery that's imperative.
No, it's absolutely not. It's absolutely not. Anybody telling me that Cedric is a better right back than Hector Bellerin, and here's the argument that I get with Cedric's a better right back than Hector Bellerin, because Bellerin's too small.
Cedric's smaller, isn't he?
That's there it is. That's the whole point. Well, Cedric's a better right back. Why is Cedric a better right back? Well, Hector's too small to defend. Right? It's mind is blown. My mind is blown. I have no idea. I can't defend that. So
I'm gonna stop the noshing on Bellerin here. I don't get it. I don't want to say I'm so far in the Lone Star Learners camp. I can't believe I'm actually saying this. I just think what he offers us, we don't need. Like, yeah, he could make inside runs and work inside shots, but we don't need that. Well,
let me ask a question. But why don't we need it? What? Let me rephrase the question. What do we need then?
To be fair, I hate to say this. I can't believe I'm saying this. Really, all we need from him is some. I guess he's pacey, but he's lost a lot of pace. I need him to be defensively, be positionally aware, and across here and there would be pretty fantastic.
Well, sure, yeah.
He can't do any of that. And now, I'm not going to go as far as to say, again, I can't believe I'm bringing Lone Star up again. I'm not going to go as far as to say he's useless. I don't think he's useless. I think he's...
Wait. Calma.
Tranquilo.
Calma. Sorry, I saw that. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
But yeah, no, I don't think we need to be like, oh, he's got to go, get rid of him. If a team comes in for him, I'm 100% selling him. But again, it's not a dire piece of information that needs to be sold.
Here's the other catch.
We have bigger fish to fry.
If you sell him, you got to replace him.
Yeah.
So that 30 to 35 million that everybody would scream, go get Yves Bissouma with, or whoever else it might be, God forbid, Houssam Aouar. I think that ship has sailed, but I still see people crying over that one. Whoever it might be that we bring in the midfield, you still have to replace the right back if you sell him. You know what I mean?
So here's my ingenious plan. It's probably not going to work, and it's not going to happen. AMN's going to fall on his face in West Brom because he's a midfielder, but he's not. He's going to come crying back to Arsenal. You guys are right. I'm a fullback. And he's going to be backing up Cedric while we wait, maybe develop a talent. I don't think we really like Ozzy Tutu. I'm not really sold on him. Or also want to splash some money on a nice right back. But I think that could be our backup for now, for maybe the next couple of years. I don't think Cedric's it. I agree with you. But again, we have bigger fish to fry. The right back is not like I'm fine going in next season with Cedric AMN or Bellerin Cedric for that matter. That's fine. But any team comes in for Hector Bellerin, we're selling him. We should 100% cash in.
Yeah. Look, everybody has a price. Like Ted DiBiase said back in the day, right, Stan? Everybody's got a price. Everybody has.
A lot of people are saying Lamptey, and I like the look of him and all, but he's recently just upped his contract, so he's locked.
So yeah, Lamptey's not coming here.
And to get him, it's going to cost a king's ransom now because of that. Another shout I like Yusuf Attal. I like that guy. I've had him in my FIFA team as well for the last 3 seasons. But I mean, this is real life, right? What do I know? But it's not a major piece of surgery.
No,
but
that's the point. That's the point. There are worse right backs in this league right now. I'm serious.
In actual fact, I think there's one area that we should be looking at making a change somewhere is a forward.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to see us move Lacazette on this summer, and I'd like us to get someone else in.
This from Glenn is fantastic in terms of selling Bellerin. If that's what we focus on, it's like cutting the grass while the house is on fire. That's tremendous. That is right there.
To be fair, if an offer comes for Bellerin and we can get a cheap right back replacement and not really move to it, do it. Like, do it. But again, I'm not saying we go out of our way and go, hey, some transfer window. Bellerin's on the market. We're selling him, highest bidder who wants him, and then we're actively like seeking right backs. Let me ask
you this. Max Aaron's 30 to 35 million. If you got 30 to 35 million for Bellerin, would you take that and flip it to Max Aaron's? If it's roughly the same money, would you flip Bellerin to Aaron?
Do you know my answer to that?
I don't know.
Is if someone's got 30 to 35 million to spend, why are they looking at Bellerin and not going straight to Max Aaron's anyway?
True. Yeah.
But well, I guess since the question was posed, I'm going to answer. I don't think so. I think we take that 35 million and we put it towards Basuma because I want Basuma.
Well, but again, you have to replace Bellerin if you sell him. So again, I am in the camp that if a fair, reasonable offer comes in for him, I would take it. I'm not saying he's untouchable. No, Bellerin. I almost what I almost said.
I know what you were going to say. I knew it. Touched by an angel.
Oh my, a little bit. But now if the right offer comes in for Bellerin, I move him on. But I don't move
any
him
offer
on.
comes in.
But I make sure that I have a plan B to go and replace him for sure. So, Max Aaron's, Tariq Lamptey's not coming in, but I do like the player. So that was actually great, Stan. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to get into talking about Bellerin during the show a little bit. So a lot of comments from you guys. James, 3:47 in the morning in the UK. Hope you're all safe and well. All good on this side of things, man. Appreciate that. So Mike, I could go into this for a little bit, but I don't really want to. Goes back to the tweet Jessica put out today with Elliot from AVP. That's Arsenal Vision Pod for those that don't know. Might have been living under a rock. Elliot would sell Saka for 100 million, so it really depends on the offer and what the club does with the money. That is very well said. It is all about the reinvestment of the transfer fee that you receive. So there's no guarantee that even if we sold Bellerin, that we'd make the smart play, the right play with the money that we got from him. Mm-hmm. So. All right, so we're at what are we at here? We're at about 53 minutes. You guys want to go move on and we kind of already previewed Benfica a little bit. Yeah. Anything else on Benfica on the Benfica match Thursday, Stan?
Not for me, really. As I say, don't really know much about them at the moment, where they're at as competition. So I'm looking forward to seeing the lineup and how we do away from home. Where's the actual match being played?
Rome.
In Rome. Okay.
Rome this Thursday, and then Greece the following Thursday.
Did I let crowds in Italy, or was it empty?
I have no. This is so weird to me. Are they doing this because of the international travel? I mean, I don't want to go down this road because it's. I think Stan, you and I could do an entire show on just the things that don't make sense with all of this right now, which we're not going to do. But Ryan, anything to add on Benfica preview wise? Anything else you want to?
No, say? I mean, just again, I don't think we should take them lightly, but I do think you can make small aesthetic changes. Maybe bring in Mari. I think Mari's played great for us this season. I think you can bring a Mari in. I think you could bring it. You could have Odegaard or ESR. You don't need both. Pepe, Saka. I think I think it's a Lacazette or a Aubameyang. You start either of them. I think.
I'm not laughing at you, Ryan. I'm sorry.
I know. I read it too. So I think it's just like little things here and there. But again, I just think with Arteta's record, I think you should go full fast and furious, pedal and metal. I think we're just going to play probably we're probably going to play the same lineup pretty much as Leeds.
Yeah, I think so. That three behind the central striker, man, that's going to be really interesting to me. I'm going to throw it out there. You guys can rake me over the coals if you don't agree with it. I'm actually going Martinelli on the left. I'm going Pepe on the right with Lockett through the middle. And I have no idea who I'm putting behind him in that number 10 role. I honestly, I'd probably put Odegaard in there right now.
Who do you have on the right?
Pepe.
You're going to bench Saka? No. Stop.
Yep.
Stop.
Yep.
Go next.
I'm doing it for the sake of road. To see, here's the funny thing. So
we just talked about all eggs in one basket.
Certain players we talk. Oh, you got to rotate. Smith Rowe, got to rotate him. Saka, no, run him till he's dead. It doesn't make any sense. It's like you're either in favor of rotation or you're not, and it like you don't get it both. To me, I'm sorry, you don't get it both ways. You're either in the boat of no, you need to rotate these players. They need a rest. Saka needs a rest. Just like Emile Smith-Rowe, nobody ever talks about Bukayo Saka has played every game.
He's resting right now. He'll be fine.
So ESR was resting 2 weeks ago. Why did we have all this talk during the transfer window that, ESR can't play every game? My God, he can't play every game. He's got to rest.
I think it's because of his injury resume. I think that's what
okay. I'll buy into that. I'll buy that argument. I am of the mind that I'm giving Bukayo Saka some rest. Nicolas Pepe is in a bit of form. I know he's in form on the left, but I want to get Gabriel Martinelli some game time in here too, because he has a role to play in the success of this team. I think when you have Martinelli, I think if you started Martinelli in this game, I think he'd just be chomping at the bit to get out there and make a difference. I think that kid would come out like he was shot out of a cannon. I'm not on the training ground. So I don't have anything to go on other than this is just kind of the idea that's in my head. And hey, I've said crazier things on here before. Hector Bellerin is a midfielder.
Honestly, I think this is crazier than that.
Maybe it is.
I don't think
maybe it is. I would want to. Here's the other thing too. The 5 subs. That 5 substitute thing makes a difference to me. Yeah, because here's the other thing. I, as a coach, manager, whatever, would not be afraid to make not even. Are you kidding me? I'll be lucky if I'm selling peanuts in the stadium. I would not be afraid to make a change in the first half if it's not working. If whatever it is I started with, and I know it's frowned upon because you're upsetting the player, but if it's not working, it's not working. You make a change. I'm not put in the position to be the coach to make friends. I'm put in the position as coach to win games. And if it's not working, what I originally started to win the game. If what I started with isn't working, then it's especially with 5 subs, then I make the change. Let's go back to the restart. How good did we look coming out of those water breaks? How good did we look when he got to make an adjustment midway through the half? He didn't even have to make a substitute. All he had to do was make an adjustment during the water breaks. So maybe I'm crazy, but I'm sticking to my guns on this one. If I had my druthers, I'd go with Laka leading the line. I would go Martinelli on the left. I'd go Odegaard in the middle, and I would go Pepe on the right. And at the end of the day, right now, and again, not on the training pitch, but right now, I just kind of feel like I'm losing something. Yes, I get that. But I still feel like I sort of have that, at least with that 3 in behind, I still have that sort of pinwheel of death. All 3 of those guys can move around, So
Pepe's been in form on the left. Why would you then?
I know. Okay. So who's the informed player, and what's your best 11, and who is fit, and do you want to rest anybody, and how seriously is Arteta taking the league? Or, as Ray said, is it 7 eggs in one basket, 5 in another? You know, I want, if I could get a fully rested Bukayo Saka going up against Manchester City, that's what I would like to do. That's kind of my, in starting Pepe over Bukayo Saka or Martinelli over Bukayo Saka. That's the line of thinking for me, is give him a week off to just, you know, not have to go at game speed for 70 minutes, whatever the case may be. So let's move on to Manchester City. So first of all, do either of you have any hope of top 4? Is it still achievable in your opinion, Stan?
No.
So all the eggs are in the Europa League basket for you?
Yeah, they have to be, I think, at the minute. I think we'd be lucky to get into the Europa League this season, I think.
Fair. So forget Champions League top 4. You're even what about top 6?
It's that's we you know, there may be an outside chance to get into to squeak into the top 6, but I think it's going to be a lot of variables. We're going to have to, you know, count on teams above us fucking up, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, absolutely.
Our destiny's not really in our own hands now. All we can do is try to win as many games as we can.
Let me ask you this question. Does that thought change with you if we can somehow beat City on Sunday?
Depends on the manner of the win as well, right? It's going to
sure. Yeah, like if it's like the win at United 1-0 thanks to a penalty, that's not a bad win. I mean,
it's not a bad win, but it's not, you know,
it's not blowing your skirt up either.
No.
Yeah. Defensively, you look at it's defensively, you look at it and go, we played brilliantly. We kept the eventual champions off the score sheet, but offensively, I'd take that. I'd take any win. I mean, at 4-3, 5-4, 1-0, 2, I don't give a shit. I'll take 3 points, please, and thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Ryan, top 4. Still, are you writing it off now, or do you think, are you holding out hope that if things can fall right over the next 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a month, that it's still attainable?
It's possible, but I don't have any hope. I don't have hope for it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like 3 points. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here after a game, 3 points. Oh, where are we in the table? If it comes, it comes. You know, it's I'm not holding my breath, but it's possible. Weirder things have happened.
I just want to shout out Lawrence real quick because that's funny. I like that. Slim hope, no hope, and Bob hope. That's funny, Lawrence. I like that. That's good. Sorry, Ryan. Go ahead.
Who knows? I hope Bob Hope can play right back.
There we go. We'll bring in Bob Hope as our new right back. What do you think? Wait, hang on. What's that? He's dead? No, what the hell? We'll try to get him anyway. Cubs win.
We would hey, we bought Cedric injured, we bought Kieran Tierney injured. We'll buy Bob Hope dead. That's fine. Yeah. 6 feet under. We'll put a 20 on Bob Hope.
Yeah, right. By the way, Rahul, love that song. King of Wishful Thinking from Go West.
That's right.
Little 80s trivia for you.
Yeah, I like that.
So, I guess my line of thinking is you're not out of it till you're out of it. And we're not out of it yet. Need a lot of help, but we're not out of it yet. Circle back to what Ryan had said before. You just kind of game by game, you play your best 11 in every game. You just do it. Whoever the best 11 is for that game, you play them. So I genuinely believe that if we could somehow figure out a way to beat City on Sunday, oh man, it's a big game because I really think the season in the league hinges on that game. If we lose it, it's kind of like I don't know why, man. It's just going to deflate me. Like it's the hope that kills you.
It's the manner of the loss, though, right? I mean, this team have got like 16 games, and they've won 16 games. They're not going unbeaten. I think they've won 16 games. So they're the informed team, and it's okay if we lose against them, but it has to be the manner. Do you know what I mean?
Got to be competitive.
Their socks off and do, you know. I don't want to see us helping them with a David Luiz, penalty and a sending off, and we help them. I want to see us. It'd be a good measure to see where we are. Okay, we lost this, but everybody was working hard. Now we can see what we need to do to get better.
Yeah. No David Luiz against City, right? If David Luiz is going to play in either one of these next two games, it's got to be Thursday. right? Stan, you want to? I know you hate David Luiz, so if you want to take that one, go right ahead.
What, is that the contract?
No. I'm saying if David Luiz is going to play in either one of these two games, it has to be Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Not going to see. You can't see him against City.
No.
Actually, I'm not sure I'd hate seeing him against Benfica. I would hate seeing him against Benfica. I would. I think we're going to get Rob Holding and Pablo Mari.
Well, let's talk about David Luiz, right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
And obviously there is a lot of rumor about him being offered another contract extension this summer.
Stan, real quick, let me interrupt you real quick. You guys, you know what? I'll tell you what. After we get the David Luiz thing off the table, we'll drop some questions. We haven't done that for a while. We'll answer some.
We've also got Dennis Ceballos as well to talk about. He's got a contract talking about being offered a full time. Those are the two things that I was going to bring up.
Okay, yeah. So David Luiz, have at it.
Oh, well, I mean, I was annoyed when I was fucking pissed off when we bought him. Especially the way that we were told this story. If you remember, it was the summer of Nicola Pepe. And it was the summer of Don Raul, when Don Raul was being christened Don Raul, and everybody was, he was like the best thing since fucking the invention of the wheel. Do you know what I mean? And everyone was really happy. And he was like, I remember him, he was like, we're not done yet. We're coming back. We're going to go off and we're going to come back with Upamecano. They basically told us, didn't they? They're going to go to sign him. And what happened? They came back with Sideshow Dave. Yeah. And I was like, that's not Upamecano. That's fucking David Luiz from Chelsea. What? Wagwan. Do you know what I mean? What is going on? I was like, nah. And the fact that he got his contract renewed, I was like incandescent with that. And now to hear that he is going to pop, some people are going, oh, it's clickbait. Okay, but we have to discuss it because it's doing the rounds in a few places. If it's clickbait, good. I hope there's no truth in it whatsoever. And if we are going to give him a renewed contract, I mean, I look at it this way. The politest way I can put it is the only way that he should be playing for Arsenal, if he's in the Arsenal squad, is as if everybody is injured or got the measles or what have you. There is nobody else left. But the thing is, he's not being paid the salary of a sixth stringer. He's being paid the salary of a first stringer. So
right.
I can't justify it, right? If you want to pay him the money of a sixth stringer and have him behind Mavropanos as then fine. I don't mind him being at the club, but to have him being considered as, one of your first picks in the back two, I honestly think that he should count himself lucky that he got that last extension. And if Mikel Arteta is seriously considered extending a contract to him, I would say that would probably go a long way for me to be starting to sway over to a side where I'm going to be questioning if Mikel Arteta is really the person that I believe is the person to take Arsenal forward. Because for me, that would be a massive backward step.
Yeah, I agree 100%. If
you're telling me that a 35-year-old David Luiz is better than using, say, someone like McGuinness or Ballard, I'm not having it. If you're saying that we should be keeping him on and blowing off the 30 million that we spent on William Saliba, then questions have to be asked. What's going on? I mean, you have to look into that. If that is the case, then you have to go all the way back to who was involved in that Saliba deal, and you've got to get rid of them. And if they do have fingerprints over that, he should be held accountable as well. If not, bring him in, give him a first team place, and let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I was talking about that exact thing with Jess the other day on her show, the little post game analysis that we did yesterday. So, Ryan, anything to add on the David Luiz contract extension rumor? Where do you stand on it? Are you with Richard Francis, or are you with Stan?
I actually agree with both of them. I think as a player, I think he's kind of going downhill real quick. I don't see him getting any better, obviously. He's just he's a Mustafi waiting to happen. And yes, he has those games where he's man of the match, which he has for us, once or twice this season. He's great games. But is it worth it? I don't think it is. I don't think what he brings to the table is worth it. The only thing I will say that I'm kind of like, yeah, he does this. He's great with the kids. He beds them in. He's like a big brother to the kids, and I've heard nothing but good things about him from the kids and from guys, that's saying how accommodating he is and how he's always there to help out. He's like a teacher. So fucking sign him to be a coach.
Yeah, pay him a fucking teacher's wage then.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree.
They get paid peanuts, aren't they?
Because to me, like, yeah, he's got a good performance in him, but it's one good performance and 3 bad ones. So it's like, do you really want to go through that? No. I think we have players in Mari, Holding. I do think Saliba can offer us something. I think we need to try it. Gabrielle, maybe even bring in a young center back that we can maybe bet in. I know we signed Omar Rekic. I don't see him coming into the team anytime soon. I think he's going to probably be U23s for next season and maybe the season after that.
McGinnis?
Yeah, and I was going to say McGinnis and Ballard too. I don't know. I think they need to maybe get some. Again, it just depends. If we're not in, Europa, if we're not in, or for crazy things, if we're in the Champions League, if we're in like a group of death, players like McGinnis and Ballard aren't going to be thought about. But granted, if we go to Dundalk next season,
right?
Yeah, maybe a Ballard and a McGinnis is someone you should probably have on the bench. I think it just comes down to just where we're going to be at the end of the season, fixture wise, and what we think we can get out of this group of players and the group that we have out on loan, like the Willocks, the AMNs, and the McGinnis and Ballard.
If he's re-signed on a lower wage, somewhat commensurate with his role at the club. So yeah, Stan, like you said, if he's being paid like he's a first teamer, then that's not good business. But if he's paid more like he's a last resort of a second pairing, could be the first choice as a third pairing, if he's paid that way, maybe a little more, just to say, recognize the job that he does mentoring the young players, because I think there's something there to that. I'd be okay with it, again, if he's down the pecking order a bit, but the pay, like you said, Stan, that's a good point. The pay has to be commensurate with the role that he's playing. So look, if he comes back and he says, yeah, I'm good with the odd League Cup game, or if we qualify for Europa League and it's group stage at Dundalk or whatever it is, yeah, I'm okay with that. He should do well there. David Luiz is a player that is moments of brilliance followed by hours of disappointment.
Yeah.
That's David Luiz. For like, you get one.
It's funny.
You get one good game out of him, and then you get 3 stinkers. He just forgets how to kick a ball. What's that?
He reminds me of, it's going to be a stretch, but it's popped in my head. Like, yeah, it's David Luiz. I don't know if the chat has seen Superbad, but the scene where, I'm going there.
Can't wait to hear this.
So I think it's towards the end of the movie where they're at the big party, and McLovin, this girl is just all over McLovin. He's like, I'm a badass. I did this. I punched the guy in the face. And then, few moments later, he's in the bedroom with the girl, and they're fooling around. He's like, oh my God, it's in. Oh my God, I'm having sex. It's in. That's David Luiz. You're like, oh yeah, he has that bad guy attitude. And then next thing you know, he's freaking out when, is it in? Oh my God, I'm having sex. To me, that's David Luiz in a nutshell.
10-17. What? I just told her what time it was.
Yeah. Like that's
one of the best scenes in that movie, by the way.
That's the kind of player we have in David Luiz. He'll give us a good laugh, and he may help a few people out in getting us alcohol. But I mean, at the end of the
legal
day,
drinking age over there is 18, so they're good.
Yeah.
They don't need Uncle David Luiz. So,
I am McLovin.
I am McLovin. Danny Ceballos. Stan, you wanted to say something on Danny Ceballos real quick. So,
well, I just think another one. There's a story there that there's talks about making his move permanent.
yeah, what, 22 million pounds?
20 to 25, somewhere around there. And again, I just wondered what everybody in the chat box feels. Would that be a good move long term? Is it good value for money, or irrespective of the price? Do you feel that Danny Ceballos, has earned a place to be part of the Arsenal squad? And just wondered what you guys think.
Well, I'll let Ryan go. So,
given the market, I don't know. I'm leaning toward no. I think he's a good squad player. I think if he wants to give all for his team, and he kind of puts Real Madrid in his back mirror, maybe. But yeah, I agree with Ray. I think we could do better. But again, what if we don't bring anybody in? What if he's our only chance at getting a midfielder? Do you take it? Yeah, I hate to say it. Granted, I would like to maybe get him and sign a Basuma, sign someone that because Ceballos to me is not someone who's going to start for us, nor should he. But I do think I think 25 mil could sway me. But again, I think which is kind of sounds stupid, I guess, when I'm thinking about it. But if we could sign him, but like you're telling me, okay, we're gonna sign for 25 million, but we're definitely gonna sign another midfielder that will start in front of him, then yeah, I'm all for it.
So he looks 50-50 in the chat box. It looks like he's a bit marmite.
Yeah.
People going like, 25 mil's a bargain, and other people are going, no. Me, I think it seems like again, and I don't like this about Arsenal. It seems the comfortable option. It seems like, well, he's here. He's played now for a couple of seasons.
Yeah,
in the money. But I mean, can the money be better spent? Is there anybody maybe closer to home who may fit the profile better, or because he's been with us for a couple of seasons?
Vinny David Luiz.
Why is it? Should we just take it because it's comfortable? Personally, if we were looking at maybe 15 million, something like that, I'd buy into it more if he was going to be a squad player. But I just think that the money could be better spent. And I think that my problem with Danny Ceballos has always been his inconsistency. I've seen him have some good games for Arsenal. I have. And I've like, let's see a little bit more of that. But I've seen him have some games where he may as well just not have played. Do you know what I mean? Literally kicking the ball out of touch.
Yeah.
Play, and that was him making a pass to somebody that wasn't even there. Constantly being drawn towards the ball like a bit of a headless chicken, constantly turning the ball over as well. Trying to get the ball, turning it over, and then causing that us to be on the back foot because it's the other team has sprung into an attack. But as I say, I've seen him have some good games. The balance for me has always been a little bit off. And it always worries me when I see a player that can't be consistent, because to me, it's like, I've seen your level now. I've seen your bar. So when I see you play below that, I get the feeling that, especially if you do it often, I get the feeling that it's not you having a bad day. You just couldn't be bothered that day, because we know what your bar is. We know what your ceiling is. So why are you not trying to play like that all of the time?
Isn't consistency one of the most important attributes that any professional athlete can and should have? Because Stan, that's absolutely spot on. If you set the bar here, then I can understand you dropping down a little bit here and there. I get it, but you've got to be, this is the bar. I can live with this here and there. I really want a little bit of this here and there, but you've got to be right in here more often than not. So that's absolutely spot on. That's a great way to put it. Danny Ceballos, the only thing I'll say on it, just to add my 2 cents here, is complete all the other business first. Satisfy the midfield with Yves Bissouma. Go get him. And then if we feel like Danny Ceballos can still be a valuable asset to this club, and there's 22 to 25 million pounds, euros, whatever it is we're spending on him, and we want to do it, then by all means go do it, because you do need squad depth. And I hate to use City as the comparison, but they are the standard. And Darren, great point here.
Good question. I was just looking at that, and I was going to say, you can only have one.
We've hardly seen much of Odegaard,
right? It's not been a lot, but I mean, if personally, for me, if you could say to me you could only have one, I would be putting, those eggs that we've been talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. These are being moved into the Odegaard basket now. These eggs that we've been moving around all show. And maybe I'll get proved wrong. Maybe, come the end of the season, it's been a flash in the pan. But I actually think that Odegaard is going to be everything. We're going to see the way that he plays. He's going to be everything that a lot of our supporters thought they were getting with Dani Ceballos when he first came to us.
Yeah.
Not now that they've seen where he's being deployed, but maybe for the first 6 months, 8 months or so, I think a lot of fans are going to see Odegaard being what they thought they were going to get from Dani Ceballos.
Yeah, real quick. Would you take Odegaard on? Would you extend the loan for another year? Odegaard?
Yeah.
And I'm not, and that's saying, let me. I mean, I would take him. I'd love to buy him.
If we've done it for Dani Ceballos, why wouldn't we do it for Odegaard? Yeah. If he's going to pan out the way that I hope he is, right?
Let me ask that question a different way. Would you prefer Odegaard on another 1-year loan as opposed to buying him? Put on your business cap, how would you handle that situation? Would you try to extend the loan for another year and make it an 18-month loan deal, or would you try to just buy him outright and say, nope, we're going to take our chances?
How much is the price tag on to buy him?
So let's say 40 million. I think for 40 to 45 million to buy.
For me, the perfect scenario would be to extend Odegaard for another season's loan, but work in the option to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think that's the way I would do it. That's kind of the best of both worlds, isn't it? I mean, that's ideal. So, what is the outright purchase price for? I want to start getting in some questions. You guys want to hang for about another 10 minutes or so, and we'll take some chat questions. The outright purchase there, Richard. There isn't one. There was no option or obligation inserted into the loan agreement to buy him.
While you're talking, I'll have a look online to see what his actual
his market value is.
Yeah.
I would go. I'm going out on a limb here, just kind of based on what I've been hearing in different circles. I would say 40 to 45 million pounds. So that would translate to, he is probably in the same neighborhood right now as Thomas Partey was last year. I would say 50 million euro. Which translates, I believe, to about 45 million pounds. That would be my guess on that. So, anybody questions, guys, in the chat? If you've got a question for us, you've got a question for someone specific. If it's me, if it's Stan, if it's Ryan, let us know there.
To transfer market, they've got Martin Odegaard down at $44 million, not pounds, dollars.
So $44 million. So that's a little. So that's probably that's probably about 40 million pounds, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe that or a little bit over, somewhere around there. Not far off what Donny van der Beek was, 38.2 million pounds. So it's not that far off, around that ballpark.
Think about that for a minute. They bought him for 38 million pounds, and he can't even. I'm not even sure he could be the dressing room attendant at this point. That dude doesn't. He's not around that team enough. That's a crying shame, because there's a lot of talent there, man.
The manager's finally found something that clicks, and it's clicked just at the time he brought in someone that was going to be used as a new ingredient, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, and Ollie can't afford to upset that apple cart, which
it's. I mean, he wasn't playing at the beginning of the year, and now that they've sort of hit a stride.
Wish we bought him. I really wish that we'd been able. Have you noticed though that those two players from Ajax in the middle of the field, right? Donny van der Beek and
Hakim
Ziyech.
Yep.
Both of them, they've come over to the Premier League, and it's just not worked out, has it?
Can't seem to get a sniff, can they?
And I think Ziyech has had some injuries and that, but I don't think he's hardly kicked a ball for Chelsea. And there were a lot of fans. Remember, he had a buyout clause of around 25 million. Yeah. And Arsenal fans were screaming to go and
he was going to be the next he who shall not be named. Ziyech, however you say his name, that he was supposed to be the next. I don't want to say his name, so you know who I'm saying. Let me bring in a question from Ray. Stan, how do you change the currency in transfer market? His is showing euros.
I don't know. Mine's showing dollars, but I don't know if it's just because of my location.
So I'll take this one if you don't mind. I believe, Ray, if you go up to the top left-hand side, you'll see it says it like just look for the flag. So, Stan, chances are what you have is either a Canadian or American flag up there.
I don't see a flag.
No?
No.
Because I usually get dollars on.
Okay, transfermarket.us. Okay, I see. Oh, I see. Yeah. The left-hand side, you can change the location.
If you go up there, I think you can change it to the UK.
Yeah, I'm just doing that now.
Yeah.
So, according to this, then, this is even better. According to in pound sterling, 36 million pounds.
Wow. Even
Martin Odegaard.
You know what though? I've gotten raked over the coals a few times for trusting transfer market, and people have told me to add like 7 to 10 million to whatever they tell you.
Oh, right.
So, so if that's true, then I'm pretty close because I add 10 million to 30. That's 46. I said 45 to 50. Boom. I know what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah. Let me scroll through. Oh, Insurance Basket is with us. Wasn't a penalty. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I wanted to shout out the Insurance Basket because I know Stan loves the name.
Love that name.
So, I'm just kind of bringing in funny comments here. I'm a good egg, even though I'm slightly cracked. Yeah, well, we all go a little crazy sometimes, don't we?
Don't worry, Tanner. I think he's only yoking.
Well done. I don't know.
It's the only reason I'm here.
We're gonna start this new activity. It's jogging, or maybe it's yogging. I think it's a soft J. Name the movie.
I like that question from Ray there. It's not Arsenal, but I do like it. I mean, he's asking if we believe that Mbappe can be as good as Ronaldo or Messi.
I'm looking for that. I want to be able to put the comment up here. Oh, Ray, yeah, there we go. I found it. There we go.
I think someone like Mbappe, and I think also as well, the other guy, Haaland, are probably that next generational talent that we're going to see that will, once the Ronaldos and the Messis start to fall away, these are probably the next two that are going to probably be lighting it up for a long time. Is there anyone else out there, gents, that you can think of, as well as Mbappe or Haaland, who you think is going to be, maybe the Neymar, the third one? Anyone else that you tip?
Probably Bakayoko. I fucked his name up. Saka, I would say.
Saka. Wow. Bakayoko. Wow.
I don't know what the hell I was talking. I don't know.
That the dude from Chelsea, that defender from Chelsea that's over in Milan right now. I think isn't that how you say his name? I don't know. Anyway, now for me, Kylian Mbappe, that question was asked and answered probably a year and a half ago. I think he's the best player in the world. I think he's better than Messi. I think he's better than Ronaldo right now.
Well,
yeah.
Yep. That dude. I mean, look. You put Messi, you put Ronaldo on any team in the world, and you transform that team. That team becomes exponentially better. Kylian Mbappe does the same thing, and he's younger by 10 to 15 years. He's 22? Kylian Mbappe has been the next big thing in world football for 4 years since he was at Monaco. He's been the next big thing in football, and in 3 years he's like it'll be like. Leo who? Wait, Kylian Mbappe. Leo who? Ronaldo who? Yeah. So I got a super chat here from AFC. Hi, thank you for the donation, friend. We appreciate that. How long do we think Saka, Martinelli, ESR will last at Arsenal if we don't start winning things? Ryan, I'm going to come to you on this first.
Oh. I think all three are different in their own way. I think ESR is an Arsenal man through and through. It's going to take a lot for him to want to leave. Saka, I almost want to say for all three. I think Martinelli almost kind of owes us. He got snubbed by Man U. Man U didn't want him. We kind of put our arms around him, like, come play for us. We kind of put his name on the map. I mean, it's again Saka. I don't know. I would like to think that they would. Well, put it this way. I don't really like the question because I think we're going to start winning things. I don't know. I don't know about this year or even next. But the ball's in motion. I think we're getting better. I think it's just completing this puzzle and getting a couple more signings over the line. And I think, with young talent as these three and a young coach who has got really good ideas and who has, been doing a good job despite what certain people like Corey from Mike's Arse Bros, Friday Arse show said, if anyone watched it, it was interesting to say the least, saying that Arteta is the worst coach in the Premier League, but I won't get into that.
Wow.
But yeah. So I think we just offer so much that I think we're just going to attract talent, and I think talent is going to just lead to winning things. And I think we already have. I think we have talent right now to win things. Big things, not so much. But an FA Cup here, maybe a what's Carabao Cup?
The League Cup. The League Cup.
And I think we can win Europa with the squad we have. I think it's a very tall order, and it's going to take a lot of things, but it could happen.
Stan, do you want to take this question? Or there's another question here, actually, that I'd kind of like to ask you.
I think that if those three players are going to be leaving Arsenal because we haven't been winning things, then they need to look at their self in the mirror and ask why, if we got those in the squad, were we unable to win things? These are players that should be able to help us turn a corner. And I would put money down. I don't really gamble, but I would put a few quid down that, if we could nurture those three, that we should be able to win things. But the insurance basket, I can't find his comment. He said something just a minute ago. Yeah, I can't find it. It was something about Martinelli. Yeah, something about Martinelli doesn't really owe us anything, and I'd have to disagree with that because we weren't the first port of call for Martinelli. I think he had like 4 trials with Man United and they turned him down. And there may have even been other clubs that took a look and said no. So if anything, we've given him a platform now to show everybody what he can actually do. So I probably think we'd have to disagree with the insurance basket and say that Martinelli probably does owe us quite a bit for going out there and putting our money where our mouth is, where other clubs were a little bit wary to do so.
Yeah. Lawrence has got a question here for us, guys. What's your view on the overturned penalty against Leeds? Didn't Luiz get sent off last week against Wolves for doing the same thing? Stan, you want to go on that one?
Yeah, I think Luiz was even heard saying to the referee, what's the difference between what happened with me the other week? And again, a little bit like we were talking about Danny Ceballos, it's the same with the refereeing at the moment, is that there are so many inconsistencies.
Yeah.
And there's a long way to go before we see it improving. Because I think referees are not being held. I think we touched on this maybe last week,
last week or the week before, yeah.
We talked about it, didn't we? Putting the spotlight on them, making them accountable. And until that happens, and they can always hide behind the skirt of the FA, I think that these mistakes are going to continue to happen, and certain fans from certain clubs are always going to feel that they're the ones that are being hard done by.
Yeah, Ryan, what's your take?
I think when you overturn a penalty, it's got to be undisputable evidence or whatever. I don't think there was enough there to overturn it, to be honest. But it was soft, yes. I think it was very soft, but it was called and
soft. It's very soft.
Yes, soft.
Very, very soft.
I don't think there was enough to overturn it, so I was a little surprised, but not really when I realized, it's Arsenal. Yeah, they don't like giving us things.
Yeah. I'm with Ryan. I don't think it should have been overturned. The inconsistency, as Stan said, is just mind numbing. So
if we didn't get the penalty and VAR checked it, I'm like, yeah.
I don't really understand it. So we're going to knock off here for the evening, folks. We're at about an hour and a half, and we got to stop sometime. I feel like we could, the three of us, we could do this for the next 5 hours. And we've done that once before. We're not going to do it again. So we're going to knock off here. Ryan, I'll give you. Member. What's that?
We got a new member.
Yeah, Darren signed up. So, Ryan, final word.
I just kind of said this a few times. I just hope, that we could be measured and take Benfica seriously. But again, I want to see Mari play. I want to see one of ESR Odegaard play. But if they both play, it's fine. Maybe throw in Lacazette there, see how he works with the two. And I gotta be honest. I'll never say no to Leno. I wouldn't hate it if Matty Ryan started. But yeah, other than that, chat room was great. You guys killed it as always. Follow all of us if you guys haven't already. Always love talking footy with you guys, even if we don't agree.
It's kind of fun to not agree. It's not any fun if we all agree all the time. It's so fun that way.
It's boring. Yeah. And hashtag bin the Bellerin. Sorry, I had to. Sorry.
Stan, final word.
My final word is basically when everybody that's here in the chat box and those that are listening and watching on a replay and the podcast finishes and you all get up and you walk away to go off and do your other things, whether it's to get a drink out of the fridge or turn the TV over, just remember, our friend Tony Turner can't fucking do that. He's only got one leg. So go to the GoFundMe and stick at least a $5 in. Just put in $5. I know it's hard times at the moment, and I don't know everybody's circumstances, but we've got to get Tony another peg, man. Do you know what I mean? We've got to get the geezer mobile, right? And he's
got 2 dogs for crying out loud. He's got to get mobile.
And he's got and he lives with his grandmother who relies on him as well. He's her caretaker. So she does rely on him to do a lot of stuff. So we need to get Tony up and about. So just stick a $5 in. Yeah, $5, about £3, £3 Every little bit helps. So let's try and get Tony up and about. And thank you to everybody that joined us this evening.
Yeah, I all I got is just to echo what Stan said. The link for the GoFundMe is in the description below. Please check that out. For everybody watching, we did have a couple of super chats tonight, and we greatly appreciate that, guys. But for the foreseeable future, if you would please, instead of the super chat to us, let's put that towards Tony. And the only thing I'll say there is if you do donate to the GoFundMe, you can just, leave a little note in your comment. Hey, I just donated to the GoFundMe, and get your comment up, and I will make sure that I see that, and I will get your comment on the screen for sure. So I'll treat it just like a super chat if you do that for us. So that's all I got. That's all we got for the night. We're going to get out of here. And as I always say, it's good footy talk. We'll see you out there.